record right now, and we are recording. So, welcome everyone. This is Adam Beebe, broker here at Latonas.com. I'm joined by Tom Scholmeyer. Am I pronouncing that right?
You are.
And Tom is the owner of MyCareerSpot.com network of sites. He'll go into detail as far as what those sites are as the conversation begins. But Tom, first and foremost, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
A little housekeeping for everybody involved. If you're live, this is applicable. If you're not, it's not applicable. But if you haven't already dialed into the audio bridge, please do so now. You can use your computer's integrated audio to listen in. Everyone except for myself and Tom are on mute. If you have a question, use the GoToMeeting question functionality. It will be asked verbatim at the moment you ask it, or it will be asked later if the timing is a bit more appropriate. I know we're covering it. Obviously, if you're listening to this as a recording, it's not applicable, and you can send me questions. My contact information is on Latona's. It's also going to be in a slide here at the very end. It's adam@latonas.com, but you'll have plenty of ways of getting in contact with me, not only through the listing, but also through that. So without further ado, these are aggregate numbers for the sites, and they are broken down by month, annual revenue, trailing annual, expenses, the profit as you see, the uniques, the page views. Everyone who is signed up and has a login at Latona's, which is just your email and a password, can click on these hyperlinks and see the monthly progress that the network's made, and that's a good thing. As far as the increases, there's one anomaly which we'll get into, which actually is also explained in the listing, but I'll let Tom adjust that and discuss that when we get to that slide. Tom, this is really where I kind of table the mic and turn it over to you. Talk to us about the history of the network, if you don't mind. Go ahead.
Okay. I launched this network in May of this year, beginning of May and end of April. I know that the job space is a good place to make money, good revenue, lots of searches on the internet for jobs and job-related searches. I had a developer build a couple of sites. I partnered with Indeed.com at this point, so they would be able to provide me with an API feed of their jobs, as well as Juju. So I launched the sites. I had purchased a chunk of data from a data broker of job seekers. I began emailing through a multitude of different ESPs, email service providers. I used iContact. I used Vertical Response. I used Constant Contact and maybe one or two others. Over the course of mailing, realized that the majority of these job seekers were lower end type job seekers, retail jobs, hourly jobs, warehouse jobs, fast food restaurant jobs, and realized pretty early on that number one, not only even if they are employed, they're constantly looking for other employment, and that they cycle through the jobs that they have, whether they get laid off or terminated or what have you. So I also learned that when you're looking for a job, you don't typically just go to one job site. You go to as many as you can to have as much exposure to different jobs that you can possibly see. So when I identified a person that was definitely a job seeker, either an opener or a clicker, via email, I would start mailing to them from these other job sites and drive traffic to them that way. So the one that you're looking at right now, MyCareerSpot, is one of the sites. The sites consist of 4 of them, have pretty much the same basic layout. A landing page with a search box, that also has IP recognition software, so it updates the location based upon the IP of the person that's searching. You can also manually change that as well as the radius. They would plug in a search. Another page is the search results. So the search results have either jobs provided by Indeed or Juju. The majority of the sites are powered by Indeed, simply because Indeed has the most jobs on the internet currently, as well as the revenue per click and per thousand page views is higher. If they perform a search results come up, Indeed results, Juju results. There's 3 728 by 90 Google ads, one at the top, one in the middle of the search results, one at the bottom. A sign-up page to collect registered information, privacy page. I think that's pretty much it for the majority of them. There's some content on the sites. I haven't really updated the content since my partnership with Google is AdSense for content, and I have a high revenue per thousand page views payout from Google. I haven't really messed with the content, to be honest. Most of the people don't go there to look for content; they look for jobs. So that's that.
And Tom, I put myself on mute so there's no ambient noise here. I'm following and obviously addressing any questions in the background.
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be a delay there, but great job doing that. Discussing that. What are we seeing here?
This is one of the other properties, just job listings. We just launched this one maybe 2.5 months ago. Different look and feel, different color scheme to it. This one, the home page has the search box and the results on it. When I do, all the traffic, or the majority of it, comes from direct email marketing. So when I send out emails, I have the person's previous search criteria as well as their location embedded in the link, so that when they click on the link, it brings them not to the search page, but rather to the results page, and they can update their search criteria. This site, the home page is the results page. I did that to see if people were, putting in some either referral traffic or, what have you. That goes to the home page, at least there would be jobs displayed there immediately. Obviously, the less action it takes for the user to,
Sure.
Have the results, do the job results and or Google ads displayed in front of them, the better chance you're going to have of getting a click, which is how revenue is generated on these sites.
Okay, that's clear. Well, anything to see here? This is just.
Yeah, this is the home page for only the newest jobs. Again, search box.
Pretty basic,
location.
just call to action right there. Yeah.
Correct.
Got it. And same thing here?
Yes, that's greatjobs.net.
Fair enough. And surprisingly enough, fine work right here. Good, clean stuff. So what was, anyone can go to archive, anyone can go to the Wayback Machine and see the existence and where these domains and what was on these domains. Obviously there is some track record as far as information in that URL. Anything you care to talk about, given that the network's really since May? Anything you see relevant to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, I purchased all the domains at the beginning of 2014, so that's when I got them.
Okay, fair enough. So that's when you inserted, or shortly thereafter, I would imagine, inserted the Google Analytics code. What we're looking at right here is but is the analytics on MyCareerSpot right here. And I know in a private conversation, or actually in a buyer-seller conversation I had with you and an individual, it it seems logical. People are going to be searching for jobs on certain days, and I think that's what we're seeing right here. Um, Anything you see relevant here as far as the ups and downs?
Um, yeah. So again, like I said, I started the network in May. I didn't launch this domain, MyCareerSpot, until July apparently. So that's why you see the traffic start then. I still believe that I've reached the point of diminishing returns of adding more sites to the network to generate revenue. Yeah, the slowest days of the week to mail are going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday starts to pick back up again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are going to be the best days of the week to get opens and clicks and traffic to the site. That's what
Okay,
you're seeing
good.
here.
Again, slight pause there. Um, Overwhelmingly U.S. traffic. That's a positive. Not surprising.
Yeah. No, I think that I even filtered out as best as I could non-U.S. domains, non-U.S. email addresses. I know that the majority of the revenue that Indeed has is U.S. based, so there's really not and I only have currently U.S. based jobs displayed on the site, so there's really not a reason to send anybody else to the site. It's not going to generate any revenue unless they're looking for a job in the States, which is unlikely.
Yeah. Right. Right. Okay. A lot of direct traffic here. Not a lot of. I mean, have you? I think this question has come up as far as what type of social media presence do you and are you attempting to have? But you see,
Yeah,
obviously, the vast majority here is direct.
yeah, I don't really have any social media presence currently. That's one of the areas that could be monetized better for the network, as well as the bounce traffic. I mean, as you can see here, 50 to 60% or higher of the traffic is bounced. So they come, they land on the home page or the results page. Don't click on anything and leave the site immediately. There's ways that I'm learning now to monetize that traffic that I didn't know about, but it isn't currently being done.
Okay, and sorry about the 5 second delay there. I'll try to get faster on unmuting. Um, greatjobs.net, you obviously had that domain, it looks like right in the May timeframe, but this is a discussion as far as the ups and downs, and it probably plays out very well as far as what the on and off days are, uh, as far as for job seekers. So that's really what we're looking at right now. I apologize, you mentioned it. It's called mycareerspot.com. Network of sites. Are there of all the sites? Are there two that are doing the vast majority of the traffic and the revenue? And
Um,
which are they?
well, greatjobs.net I've had for live for longer. That was one of the original sites. I can take a peek real quick and look and tell you over the course of, let's say, this month what the biggest sites are. Give me 1 second. So yeah, greatjobs.net, followed closely MyCareerSpot, in this order of revenue this month. Greatjobs.net at the top, MyCareerSpot.com, FindWork.net, only the newest jobs.com, and JustJobListings.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And obviously, anybody listening to this live or recorded, with a signed NDA, I can send you a prospectus. There's some more robust information there. And then I know Tom has been very meticulous with dealing with other buyers, so we can get over, in writing some of the more, some of the, what sites have been doing better, what months, per the request. Again, this is something that has gone over already with MyCareerSpot. And again, I'm not trying to race through the slides, but I would imagine really these slides are going to be consistent site after site.
Correct.
Okay, so again, what we're seeing here is really no effort in social media yet, so that's obviously something that can be expounded upon. The third site, we're looking at that going live in May. The traffic's not as big as the other two sites. Are great jobs in the MyCareerSpot. Vast majority U.S. Thankfully, a lot of direct there, and the explanation is what Tom previously mentioned. We've gone here to Majestic SEO. Really, the relevance here, Tom, is if you do any link exchanges, if you have any backlink. I don't see how you really are or do, but really this is what that would be demonstrating. Have you, I know we're looking at a limited time period. Have you ever tried that as far as link
None.
exchanges or any working on backlinks?
No SEO done at all. I mean, email marketing is my expertise,
Right.
and kind of what I focus on. Again, here's a way to get traffic to the site that I haven't really explored.
Okay. And Tom, just if something pops in your head, and if it's not, the slide we're on, by all means expound upon it. And you're doing a great job, by the way. Um, you know, if there's something that you definitely want mentioned, make a note over there or just mention it right now. It's not critical that if it just doesn't line up.
Sure.
I think this goes without saying, and anyone can go to Majestic SEO. There's not a lot of effort or any effort when it relates to SEO. That's not a bad thing. He has, and they would come with the sale, quite a bit of tried and true emails, and that's a lot of the value of the site. These are backlinks that do exist just in and of themselves. They haven't been garnered. This is the Great Jobs backlink profile. Again, nothing much to see here and already explained there. And then as far as, again, I'm going to slide through these because, Tom, I want to spend more time on stuff that I think is very relevant, and that's the email database and how that was gotten.
Sure.
SEM Rush, we put this in just as an effort to let people know what's publicly available there. We're not going to see much because there's not a lot of SEO work or any SEO work done. This is really where I think we're going to spend most of our time moving forward, I should say, not on this slide, but just moving forward. So we see as an aggregate the traffic on an upward trend other than, and as explained in the listing, in August, there were a couple weeks there where there was an issue. So, Tom, I'll let you take that away. What happened in August?
So I mean, for name when I launched, there were only two sites. I think I launched a third in either June or July, probably June, and that's why you see the traffic going up. In August, we had an issue with one of the ISPs that we were dealing with, or sorry, ESPs that we were dealing with, rather. I believe it was iContact. As we were migrating over, currently we use a system called OnGauge, which handles all of the campaign management, list management, scheduling, list segmentation. That software connects to external email sending servers like SMTP servers. So we were warming up. We got approved to mail through Amazon SES email servers, which number one is a feat in itself to get them to approve you, but it takes a long time to not only the IPs you get them because they're shared, but it takes a while for them to build a reputation and allow you to send any type of volume. I believe they started me out at 7,500 emails per day, and that's over a 24-hour period. Over the course of several months, we built it up to now 5 million a day. At this point, I think that we've been sending with a good reputation with them. I could even get more throughput with them if I needed to. I don't need to currently. But yeah, in August, was the period of migration from these other ESPs that we were using to go solely with the OnGauge Amazon Web Services servers. They get good delivery. Again, they're on shared IPs. They're not designated IPs, which, in my opinion, is good because it's very difficult to get approved with Amazon and send with Amazon. So we share the the benefits of the reputation of that IP that other people that are sending on those shared IPs generate, as far as in the eyes of the ISPs, Yahoo, AOL, Hotmail, what have you. So I hope that explains what that is.
Quite well, actually. What I'm not as clear on, and I apologize, this may be a clerical error in filling in data. We looked at a downward spike in August of page views as far as uniques, but as far as the views, they were up in August.
I don't know. I don't know where that slide came from. What may have happened was we added another site in there. But I mean,
anyone who has a question about that, we can address it. Tom, if we can after the call, or we can discuss this, but if you don't mind, just review the data that's being discussed on Latona's and look at the monthly breakdown, because this is, August has a downward spike in uniques, and one would think that the August views would be down too. But anyone wanting clarification on that, we can definitely get that. So moving on with this, Tom, this is really where it's all going to be you. I'm going to put myself on mute, and this has worked well in different open houses. This is the admin section, so I know nothing about this, or virtually nothing. So I'll just need you to say, I'm going to put myself on mute. When you're done talking about a specific slide, just say next, and I'll advance it to the next slide. So on that, if you would, let us know what we're looking at.
So this is the OnGage email management platform interface. It's web-based. This is the email design portion of it. You can either edit it in HTML or edit with a WYSIWYG editor that you see here. This is for, if you look at the top, it says Setup Wizard List, and it says OTNJ. That specifies only the newest jobs. Email account, there's several accounts that are on there, different accounts for different domains and lists to better manage the openers and clickers, the unsubscribes, and what have you. So this is the email editor. As you can see, it says first name, so it injects the person's first name from the list, a little blurb before the call to action to go to the site. I've sent out a lot of emails and done a lot of A/B testing and whatnot. Again, these members that we have are kind of like the lowest common denominator of internet users. So, I've tried very image-heavy creatives. Those didn't, get a high opener click-through rate. I've tried very text-heavy with, articles about, interview tips and resume tips, what have you. That didn't work very well. This is what works the best, and you'll see this kind of throughout all the emails that come from all the different sites. A couple of lines, motivational, updating somebody. Our team hopes your day is magnificent. There are jobs posted in whatever city they're in, and we thought you'd like to see them for yourself. Come find your dream job. Go here for jobs. Image, link out to the site, taking them directly to the results page with their previous search criteria and as well as a text link. So even if, when we get in the inbox of Yahoo, unless the person says, play image, they won't see that button. So that's why there's two of the same calls to action. Also, the ISPs will filter out emails if every single day the majority of the content of the email is the same. So we started adding a little blurb here down at the bottom. These change. I have somebody that works for me that creates these emails. A couple of lines that change every day about resume tips or job interview tips or what have you. Not a whole lot of content, just enough to change it on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of functionality in this for those of you who are very familiar with email marketing. I've used tons of different custom built software, as well as I've used probably every ESP that you can find on the internet to test them out. Get response, eye contact, constant contact, vertical response, and a couple of Campaigner, a couple other ones, and none of them have the functionality that the software has. I could give a day course on what I've learned. I only know a very small portion of the capabilities of the software. I just know what I use, but it's the best that I've used, and I've been doing email marketing for over 10 years. So you can go ahead to the next page. So this is the scheduling portion. These are a little out of order, but so you design the email, and then this is how to schedule it. There's tells you up to the top kind of a summary. You'll see the campaign name, email name. You select what that is based upon however you want to categorize it. So if you're looking at a report, I just use the domain name and the date pretty much. Default ESP. You can connect this software to multiple different ESPs. So I have 2 Amazon SES accounts. I'm only currently using one of them, but I had another one as a backup. The email subject line on the right, total size of the emails that are going to be sent out, total size of excluded segments. So from the launch of the inception and launch of these sites, I found it very difficult, if not impossible, to get into the Gmail inbox. I think a portion of that has to do with the number of job sites that are out there and the number of job sites that send out daily job alert emails. When Google came out with their latest update, I forget which one this one's called, their SEO update, how they rank sites organically on their search results, they also did some update to Gmail, which people that were currently that were previously getting into the Gmail inbox started going into not even a other categorized folder in Gmail, but into the spam folder. So I've just started to exclude sending to Gmail. There's not a positive return for the amount of either revenue that's generated from those emails, and the cost to send them doesn't make sense to send them currently. So that's why those are excluded. You select a time and a date to schedule this email to go out. It's pretty self-explanatory. The mailing notifications, I get notified via email every time one of the campaigns launches that it completed, and if it ever fails. That just kind of keeps me plugged in when I'm not sitting looking at the computer. That I send out one campaign, one email per domain per day, and they're staggered throughout the day. And that's in hopes that, number one, you don't want to send out all the emails from all the domains early in the morning, although some people might think that, because then you're pretty much competing with yourself for clicks. So I send out, one of them goes out at 7:30, one of them goes out at 8:45, one of them goes out at 10, one of them goes out at 11, and one of them goes out at 12 Eastern. I keep myself updated that those not only started but completed. I've never had a problem with them getting hung up with this software. Hung up meaning the campaign gets stuck somewhere in the middle and stops sending. But I have that notification on, so if it does happen, I don't lose any revenue for the day. So that's it for this one. You can go to the next slide. This is the configuration of the email. So this lets you select what lists you want to send to, and what lists you want, if any, you want to exclude. So you can see that I have all selected. So all of the email addresses all of the emails that are loaded in the system for this account, which happens to be only the newestjobs.com, and I have excluded all the Gmail addresses. That's all that there is on this page. So again, this is a
Go ahead. I just
chart.
myself. Right. Go ahead. This is
Yeah,
revenue. This is as an aggregate, and it would make sense in August since there was a lack of visitor or the mail outs weren't happening through no fault of Tom's. That's why the revenue is decreased in August. But good news is it's a significant upward trend. So take it away from there, Tom.
Yeah, like I said, we had we were down for probably 2 weeks. At the very end of July and beginning of August. So it took us a while to not only finish not warming up, but building the account with Amazon to be able to send to the volume that we're currently sending. But then also because the ISPs look at a correlation between the domain name and the IP that emails are being sent to them from. It took a while to kind of warm that up and let them know these are now IPs that we're sending from.
Okay, expenses are pretty in line graphically with what the revenues are. We haven't gone into detail about it. It is on the site. I know you have a relative working for you. Why don't you go into some detail as far as what the expenses are while we're on the screen specifically?
Yeah, so the expenses would be, these are recurring expenses. These would be previously, before and including August, would be ESP services, so eye contact, vertical response, constant contact. Several times I was using multiple ESPs. They were costing between 50 cents and 75 cents per 1,000 emails sent. That's why you'll see it, as we were adding sites and sending more volume, the cost went up, and you'll see that it drops down in August because we weren't getting charged because we weren't sending. The other expenses are, yes, my cousin I have doing the repetitive, busy work, all of it, of scheduling the emails to go out and putting content in them. He just graduated from college and needed some work, so I put him to work. I have a developer that he's a recurring expense, whether it's trying to tweak the sites, trying to get them to generate more money, or him building additional sites. So again, we started with 2 in May. We're at 5 now. I still have him building a couple of other sites and other projects I have him working on, but those are the only real expenses. So my real expenses now are the OnGauge software, which is a recurring monthly cost. I don't own the software. I didn't buy it. You lease it. I'm on a month-to-month contract with them. I believe right now we have a contract with them to send 100 million emails a month, up to 100 million emails a month, and I think it's $90 some odd $100 a month. We just bumped that up in November. Actually, it was less in October, and then Amazon charges 10 cents for every 1,000 emails sent. That's a pretty easy number to run in your head. If we send 100 million emails, it's going to cost $10,000.
Okay.
And the developer, yep.
Go ahead. And the developer?
Yeah. So the email, the OnGauge, Amazon, my cousin that I pay currently, which, like I said, it only takes him probably an hour and a half, or maybe 8 hours a week total to run the entire operation of day to day. Segmenting lists, adding data, scheduling emails to go out. The developer, Amazon, OnGauge, I think I already said that. And I had prepaid a year for hosting. My developer got the hosting. Currently, the sites are hosted in Germany, but they could be hosted from anywhere. It was just less expensive. I think I paid $4,000 for a super robust server with tons of data throughput, and that's it.
Okay. Brief moment here. Sometimes the mouse goes away. If you would, the important thing here is give your background, and you've already said it's a lot of it's email marketing. Give us your resume in a snapshot, letting us know what your experience is, because an hour of your time is worth more than an hour of my time as it relates to this. Tell us what your background is, and also what's required day-to-day operations, if you would.
Sure. I've done any type of mass marketing for maybe 12 years. I started out in marketing, doing email marketing. I did that, own my own company for several years. I sold it to a company called Market Links Direct in 2009. I went to work with them and ended up running some of their call center operations. They had a big call center operation. I went to work with a company in Staten Island initially to open up a call center for them, generating leads. While I was waiting for that to get built out, I took over some of their email marketing operations. I did that for about a year and a half, at which point they promoted me and to vice president of their call center operations, so I wasn't really doing email. I got laid off, launched these sites, reached out to my previous contacts, the data brokers, got some data together, mailed, cleaned up the data, and I was doing it, all this myself. It was taking me probably about, 45 minutes a day to not only to schedule the emails, find, content on the web somewhere, resume tips or what have you, to build the emails for the 5 sites and schedule them and send them out, and maybe one day a week to maybe 3 hours to go through the data, pull out the openers and clickers from the other sites and make sure they were added to the other list. Database management. My cousin, after a week and a half of him working for me, training him how to do this, I have him doing all of that now. He has no background in internet marketing. I think his bachelor's that he just got is in psychology. But I have him doing this, and he runs the day-to-day operation of the site. He probably works, maybe tops 2 hours a day. I would think probably only maybe an hour and a half, and then one day a week he might work 3 hours, doing data maintenance. So.
Okay. Will he go with the new owner at the same pay? Do you know? Not that
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I've spoken to him. I mean, like I said, to be honest, whoever purchases this, I'll commit some time to, explaining how everything works. I want to make sure that, they're happy and that they're successful with this. But it's the software is pretty, user friendly, and it's a lot of it's just scheduling email campaigns to go out and changing the content in it. So.
Sure. Okay. And you bought, I don't remember expressly going over this. Can you also mention the list, the emails here, as
Yep.
far as how you got them, the amount, all that kind of good stuff, the value?
Yep. So there's a data contact that I have that whoever purchases the site, I'd be more than happy to make an introduction. It's a personal friend of mine that I've known he got me my first job in email marketing 10 years ago. He owns a media company. Part of what they do is data brokering. I asked him to find me a list of job seekers. At this point I didn't really care how old it was. I used an ESP I used a data cleaning company. I ended up buying, I think the first batch of data I bought was probably right around 4 million records, we'll call them, right? So, email address, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip, phone, search criteria, what they had been searching for, and IP and some other, information that wasn't on all of them. But all the records have at least that information. And this cleaning company, they, removed all the bounces, and then categorized the lists into either high, medium, low, or rejects. High being, good email addresses, good responders, low chance of them being complainers, going down to rejected, which are don't ever send to these people. The addresses don't exist, and the low ranking people being complainers and things of that nature, people you don't want to email. So I started sending to, some of these people, building up to, through the course of sending, send for, a couple of weeks, and then start taking out the people who hadn't responded at all. If they didn't open or click at all, why send to them, take them out of the rotation, add some more data, and then keep doing this over and over again. I haven't even gotten through to recycle the data. Excuse me, I've done it once. So I've dipped into the data again, and people that hadn't previously clicked or open, I mailed them, 5 months later, and a decent percentage of them, were responsive. So, it's like anybody. If you take 10,000 people and ask them today, are you looking for a job? No, and maybe 10% of them say yes. 6 months later, 10% of them are going to say yes. Also, not going to be the same 10%, but 10% of them. So that's how we keep, data fresh in the system.
Sounds good. Okay.
You can, like I said, yeah.
Sounds good. What do you think? I mean, other than social media, what do you think could happen here? What are your future?
Well, I think,
if you were to keep the site, what would you do? And what's the future here?
I'm not, I'm an email guy, so I know how to get traffic to the site. It was just me for a long time. Also trying to find employment, regular 9-to-5 job. I launched the sites. So I haven't, there's a ton of stuff that could be done with the sites that haven't. I was also recovering from surgery that I had, major reconstructive leg surgery. So I was laid up a lot of the time. So things that I would do, SEO optimization, obviously. I think that there's a way to monetize the bounce traffic. If 50 or 60% of the people that come to the site look at the results and then leave immediately, they open, they click, they had an interest, they got to the site. There's got to be a way to monetize that. I think there's a couple different companies that do it. I actually sent an email out to one the other day. That there's an opportunity to put some type of a co-registration path on the site. I know that job seekers registering for other stuff is worth money to other people. Education being the biggest, probably. There's a definite correlation between people that are looking for a job and those people that end up going back to school, especially for some type of a for-profit school. But as well as a ton of other products or services. So there are co-registration companies that you put a registration path on the site. Hey, you're interested in this? Yes, click here, and then they go off and register. There's an opportunity there. I'm sure there are tons of other opportunities. I'm an email and call center guy. So call center, not a whole lot that I can do with this, but I'm sure that there are other people that have specialties on the internet that I haven't even thought of to monetize. The value is in, there's tons of people coming to the sites every day to look at jobs. So lots of eyes.
Makes sense. It'll always be relevant. So why are you selling?
Yep. Um, Probably the biggest reason is I was involved in I broke my leg really, really bad in 2012. I was laid up on the couch for um, a, a number of months, and then wasn't able to really be outside or do anything. I had to have a second surgery to try to put my leg back together. That was in March of this year, and I'm only just now getting to where I can get around. I married in 2013. My wife and I are from Florida. We live in New Jersey. She works in Manhattan. Um, you know, we both want to get back out in Florida. I can't stay in New York anymore because of um, I have a titanium rod in my leg and it gets cold. My wife's ready to leave. Before we leave and move back to Florida and buy a house, we don't have a mortgage, we don't have any kids. We want to take some time off. And to be honest, I'm looking to settle a lawsuit. We want to buy a sailboat and cruise around the Caribbean, and then come back and have kids. It's something that we want to do. We're looking into it, looking to buy a sailboat. We're actually going to go get sailing lessons. That's going to, prevent me from being able to properly run this site. I mean, I won't be in communication with anybody, via cell phone, let alone, internet access. And that's why I'm looking to sell.
That's a great answer. And the thing about the sailboat, I've never heard that, but that's uh, that's about as accurate as I can think I've heard. So that's great stuff. Um, that sounds fun. Um, you've done a great job addressing questions before they were asked. I've been behind the scenes, doing some work here. So last call for questions, everybody. This is me. My name's Adam Beebe. This is my cell phone. Leave a voicemail if you get it so I can call you back. Email is adam@latonas.com. My Skype is adam.latonas, plural. So definitely reach out to me and contact me as able to be done and requested. Through the listing, we can send you a prospectus upon receipt of a signed NDA. Uh, and sorry, Tom. Well, we're done here anyway. Tom, you did a great job. And should anyone have any questions, please let me know directly. You have my information.